Real reasons Haas ditched Mick Schumacher for Nico Hulkenberg in F1. Team USA confirmed on Thursday that it has signed F1 veteran Hulkenberg to replace Schumacher as Kevin Magnussen's new teammate next season. Hulkenberg, 35, has not raced full-time in F1 since 2019, but has impressed in 5 substitute appearances for Racing Point and Aston Martin since 2020. Speaking to the media ahead of the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Steiner said Hulkenberg's experience was key to the team's decision. He's been in F1 for a long time, and he's been with teams in midfield for a long time, so he knows how they function, how to improve them, Steiner said. And we've looked at that wherever he is, the team is always improving, and we hope that's also our aim to do that here, and that's why this pick came in. He added, I would say that Mick doesn't have Nico's experience, you know? And we need the experience to move the team forward, because I don't mean the driver isn't ready for the future. The team also needs to be much better for the future to progress. Want to know about it in detail? Well, stay tuned till the end. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will talk about the real reasons Haas ditched Mick Schumacher for Nico Hulkenberg in F1. Meanwhile, subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. That being done, let's start. Although Hulkenberg doesn't have time to sit, Steiner said Haas isn't worried about the German's fitness. He also confirmed that Hulkenberg will drive for Haas during the postseason test in Abu Dhabi on Tuesday. We watched that game too, but when he came on the field, when he's replaced the pilots over the last few years, he's got the ball right away, Steiner said. Aston Martin just texted us that they let him drive us on Tuesday. Thank you for letting us do this, and then we can sharpen it next week. Then we also have pre-season tests in Bahrain, and I think it will be live. These F1 cars are quite physically demanding, and it will take him some time to get used to because the only way to work his muscles is to drive the cars. We're going to cross that bridge next year, but he's pretty strong and I don't see that. We have that question as well. Will he receive the ball as soon as he comes back from being pulled out? But then you look at the results he got when he jumped at the last minute, he was pretty good. Steiner stressed that the decision to part with Schumacher was not easy and revealed that the contract with Hulkenberg was only signed on Wednesday. Steiner said the team would not have stuck with Schumacher even if he qualified for pole position in Brazil, and insisted it is not fair to say the German fell short of expectations. It's difficult to answer that one because what is the expectation? Steiner explained. But maybe we see things in the team now, which we need to fix in the team, where we can do better with somebody else. Take aside his performance and so on, it's more like we need to bring the whole team up, not only the driver. It's not Mick's fault that we are where we are, we have ourselves to blame. But we had to go back and take a shorter path by picking someone with a lot of experience, having done that in several teams in a position very similar to where we are now. When asked about the significance of Schumacher's costly crash, Steiner replied, "That's part of it, but you can't just say it crashed. That's not good. I'm not trying to say it's good now, but what effect did his very good results have? It is this balance that must be found. Where he ended up in Austria and Silverstone were very good results, but then bad things crashes. So it's a combination of all of that, but it's not an event that, as one might think, caused this. It's a combination of things, and the most important thing for the future is that we want to bring the team back together." Haas, which is on track to rebuild its team after a massive slump in 2020 and 2021, is finally on the upswing in terms of team operations and car performance. After taking a step forward from last year, the teams aim to continue moving in the right direction, with performance improvements to their VF22 next year. This required an experienced driver behind the wheel to give valuable feedback to the team and lead the development process over the years. Kevin Magnussen's return to the team has done it, and Nico Hulkenberg is expected to do the same. Mick Schumacher, due to his limited sporting experience, was deemed unqualified on this front. Haas F1 team principal Guenther Steiner further stressed that Mick Schumacher's performance and the incidents on the track had nothing to do with the group's decision to part ways with the German. The American team is now in a position to value their experience and develop their package alongside the talent behind the wheel. Steiner tried to reassure Schumacher by explaining the subject in detail, saying, It's not Mick's fault that we're here, and we only blame ourselves, but we had to go back and take a shorter path by picking someone with a lot of experience. Who did it? On some teams, it had a strong mid-season race streak, particularly at the Canadian, British, and Austrian Grand Prix, where the car was in the top 10 and Schumacher hit that mark. Schumacher was also the stronger of Haas 2 drivers at the Dutch Grand Prix, one of the few times in the past 2 months that Haas looked like a scoring contender. He was frustrated at Zandvoort by a stopover problem. Monza, Singapore, and Brazil are also examples of good races. He has scored in some of the races where the cars are most competitive. He beats Kevin Magnussen as often as he is beaten, and since Schumacher was pressed by boss Haas Guenther Steiner after the collision in Monaco, his form has been more convincing, showing he can handle the pressure of F1. Schumacher has always performed better in races, but especially since he improved his game. Magnussen has scored 15 points to Schumacher's 0 in the first 8 races. But since then, the score is 12-10 in favor of Schumacher. Schumacher also had a better head-to-head record in races the two completed during the season. Although this was skewed by several Magnussen retirements, he was not responsible for in races that he is not responsible for on the race. Haas internally also strongly doubts that it can be relied upon to consistently produce the required performance. Consistency is important in F1 because the level is extremely high. Every once in a while, having the good day where you can qualify and race in the top 10 isn't enough. Certainly not if you're trying to get to the grid. That consistency is what a racer like Hulkenberg offers, and Schumacher's level is still not high enough in that regard, although there are signs of improvement. If that were the case, no team would seriously consider firing a promising second-year driver to someone who is in the late stages of his career and hasn't raced full-time for 3 seasons. Another opinion Haas is expected to buy into is that Magnussen has done his hands with Schumacher at times this season. There is a school of thought that has a driver like Hulkenberg in the car, so Magnussen will play better and not be in a slump like Schumacher. It's unfair to accuse Schumacher, as it sounds more like a criticism of Magnussen, but it could explain why Haas ignored Magnussen's mini-crisis in 2022. There is also another obvious negative: that Schumacher's accident. He walked on his hind legs from the start, dancing so badly in qualifying in Saudi Arabia that he had to miss the Grand Prix. A couple of races later, he was hit hard during the Monaco Grand Prix. A rough start to 2022 changed the narrative and forced Schumacher to cancel the negatives and then make his case on it. In Haas' eyes, Schumacher is not without potential, and the main thing he has shown in his favor this year is that he dribbles in top form, good enough for the F1 midfielder. But he also runs the risk of an accident. The fact that he ran after the checkered flag during his training in Japan was a very ill-timed reminder of that, and has proven inconsistently enough. Disappointed. There are also some issues in the wrong direction, not directly with Mick, but with the people around him, who are said to have improved recently but have caused damage before. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. And that's all for the day, guys. If you found this video interesting, make sure to hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update from us. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at the next one.